We are restoring a 1974 MGB Roadster.
Right, here we go then.
Got loads of little jobs to do. That's not going to go, Les. Let's have a butcher's at that. Job done. Don't tinker. Leave it alone and go and do something else.
What's that you got in your hand?
Hello, chums. Welcome to An MG is Born. Thank you very much. Well, we know you like fishing, right? So Pete's doing a bit of fishing, and we thought it'd be really artistic and creative to have a door panel boinging around in the background. So please tell us if it's distracting in any way, whilst I tell you what we're going to do today. Thank you, Pete. Get it out of my hair. That's it. You can see he's never been fishing in his life. It's time to get on with the upholstery, all right? And you can see the beautiful condition in which the seats came to me. Look at that. They're all ripped and they're really rather nasty vinyl. So I'm going to get them sorted out, and I'm thinking I'm going leather, OK? But first job is to strip the seats down, to have a look at the frame, see what condition they're in, refurbish those, and then I'll hot-foot it to the factory where I can help make my own seat covers. And that's a seat in half.
Whoa!
It's like working with a 10-year-old. Did you reckon it was an advantage then, having vinyl seats?
The leather was sort of going out. It was the old-fashioned stuff was leather. But these are easy clean, easy wipe. If they got wet, you can have the hood down.
So this was 1974, though. Did you have the trousers with the big waist with 3 buttons?
I still got a pair of trousers like that.
The other way is to go in here, a bit like in the old veterinary days. Go on, pull! Hooray! Anyway, you can see that's all being replaced. That will be redone, reupholstered. This, again, seat base probably will be a new one. And the seat back needs cleaning up and painting. OK, 1 down, 1 to go, and then I can nip off to the factory. Hurrah, I hear you say.
Hurrah!
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Mark.
Yes, I've come 192 miles to what is a workshop that clearly needs a bigger door for me to come in. It is the most fantastic workshop, this family-run business, and they will upholster anything from an aeroplane to an MG like mine. That's Mum and Dad over there, and through here are the girls. Biggest problem here is trying to get a word in edgeways. All right, ladies?
Morning, Mark.
How you doing?
All right, thank you.
Good. I've got a box full of bits here. I don't know which bits you need, but we need to crack on because I've only got a day in which to get this sorted and back to the workshop. Is this my hide?
That's your hide.
That is very nice. Exactly the colour I wanted. Lovely jubbly. Right, first job, what have we got to get on with?
Right, we need patterns. Those are the 2 side panels, and then you need flutes in the middle.
Right, so that's just the
Which
flutes
we
bit's a
measure.
separate piece, is it?
Yeah, we measure in strips and sew them all together.
That's massive.
It is massive, isn't
So
it?
this is foam on one side, and that's just a backing.
And we have to put them out. We don't actually want to cut through the foam, we just put like a dip in it.
Every one of these is now the flute.
Yeah, and we put it all in place and give it to the sewer.
That's the last bit. That's going to be the bit I sit on now.
Yeah.
So there you go. 1 seat base, all finished. You can see I've got a piping edge stitched in here that Ellen's done, which is fantastic. And by chance, there were 2 different greys I could use, and the lighter one of the 2, this one, is exactly the colour of the paintwork on the car, and I am so chuffed about that, I can't tell you. So that's the seat base. That is the seat back, obviously with this on the back, which is vinyl rather than leather on the back, but the bit you sit against is still leather. We've got new seat foams. All the cards and stuff are new, but the frame is recycled.
Yeah.
OK, so what have you done to this? Because mine, this is mine here, or one of them. Oh, there's one. That's how they came from me.
Lovely.
All right. So I was going to blast this, sandblast it and clean it up and paint it for you, but you said not to bother.
Yeah, because all the grit gets in the handle and it won't recline.
Right.
So you must never shot blast them.
OK, so just clean them up with a wire brush.
Yeah, wire brush and a bit of paint.
OK.
Yes.
All right, so you crack on and we'll just follow through the process.
OK.
So you start with the back.
Start with the back, yeah. So you have to glue all the frame. And then on the foam. To line it up at the bottom. Now we spray glue the backboard. Spray glue all around the foam. Put the extra bit of packing on. And that is ready for fitting.
So that's done.
That's done. One built up ready.
OK, very nice job too. So why have you got your cling film out?
Well, we need the cling film to pull the cover off.
Is this a trade?
Tricks of the trade.
Is trade secret coming up?
Make sure you put the cardboard half moons in, and then it's a matter of pulling it on. Right, we take it over the end of the table now and just pop a bit of weight on it.
So now the seat base frame with a new rubber is attached and bolted onto the seat back. So the next thing is to sort out the cushion, if you like, for the seat base, which starts off with the foam. So you have to measure that up on here first.
Yeah, I need to make sure the flutes line up. You drop your base cover on like that, a bit of glue in. Back on the floor.
Right, so that's that.
We've
Final
got to put
things
a handle now.
Handle and
We've got to
headrest.
put a handle and a knob on, haven't we?
OK.
And that's it, ready for a headrest.
Right, go on then,
I'm not
finishing
going to
touch.
reach that mark, am I?
Oh, right then, look. Here you go. And there we have it.
And there we have a finished seat.
One finished seat. Look, I'll give it a twirl.
It needs a polish.
Oh, polish it first then. Hang on.
Polish it.
Stop. Polish. I can't get over how fantastic those seats look, and I was going to fit them today. In fact, the very next job, but I've decided they look so good, they're going to be the icing on the cake of this particular project, so I'll fit them a little bit later on. He's lying, actually. He's desperately behind schedule, as ever. Oh, that's charming, that is. You are always letting me down. We're actually going to move on now to a favourite job of mine, window winders and quarter lights. So this is the original quarter light that came out of the car, and the reason we've kept it rather than going for a new one is basically because it's perfectly salvageable. I also quite like the fact that things like the glass in it is the original glass, and it's got a kind of bit of a patina of age about it because it is an old car. If you just replace everything, you end up with essentially a brand new car. What we have replaced on here, though, are these channel felts in here where the window runs up and down. So Les has just glued in a new piece in there. We also replaced these studs here. When the quarter light's in place in the car, it's fixed to the door by these two studs, and on mine they were completely rusty, so when we tried to undo them they just snapped straight off. The other thing we've replaced on the quarter light is this top rubber. Now basically it's where the window sits up into when it's completely wound up. Other bits we've replaced, door handle. It's a really obvious part of the car, and unfortunately on our original units you can see where the chrome started to pit, and that won't look good no matter how much you polish it. So we've got a brand new one which looks absolutely fantastic. We've also changed the brackets that hold in the runners front and back. You can see why we had to change them when you look at the old one. Absolutely rotten. Final bit is the window winding mechanism itself. Clever bit of engineering, I have to say, but not in bad condition. A lot of it's galvanised, so hasn't rusted. Packed it with white grease to hopefully keep any moisture out of it and keep it working nicely and smooth. So there are the bits. All we've got to do is put that little lot into that door. Apart from the roller cabinet, obviously, because that won't fit. Well, we haven't got very far and I've encountered the first problem, which is this bracket which holds the bottom of the quarter light. The captive nut in the bracket is about half a hole out, so what I'm going to have to do, just cut out a little ellipse here. That's those brackets done, which is good news. Next is the window ceiling strip here. Bit of drilling here, though, and this is the bit you see from the outside, so you need to get this pretty accurate.
There's your window winding mechanism.
I've got to get in the hole first.
I'll get it in the hole and work that.
Yeah? I'm going to put it in the hole first. You got it? Oh, Les. Now, this needs to be vertical here. This is the window winder. So Les is just putting the door handle on. That goes in that hole there. Right, go on then. Oh, yes, lovely, jubbly. Look at that, and you wind the handle and down comes the window. Very nice indeed. So that's as far as I can go with this door at the moment, because the next big job is to put on the windscreen and the windscreen frame. Now, if it takes us as long as it's taken us to do this door, my advice is send out for provisions now. Welcome back, my workshop chums. This is the old windscreen, bit of a state as you can see, but also, if you look carefully in the right light, you can see a kind of snaky line, almost like a backbone of delamination. So we had to change the windscreen, and to change the windscreen, you need to strip the frame. These are all the old parts of the frame. That's the bottom rail, that's the top rail, and these are the side rails here. And they're in pretty good shape, actually, but obviously quite a lot of refurbishment in terms of making these new brackets up and so on. And I also wanted it as polished aluminium. So we decided, because, yes, we are desperately behind schedule on this project, that actually rather than building this whole thing up ourselves and polishing the rails and so on, it was going to be more cost-effective for us to actually get a complete windscreen with the glass in it and the frame already polished, with its seals on and everything, and this is it. It looks absolutely brilliant, but it is not the easiest thing in the world to fit. So, Dave Sculthorpe's here from the MG Owners Club, and he's going to give us a hand to put this in. Thank you very much, Dave. If you can spin that over. It's basically 6 bolts. One there, same on the other side. And then in the middle, if you can turn it up, guys, excellent. There's a plate here on the bottom rail of the frame. 2 bolts come through that, and then through here into 2 captive nuts underneath. You can see we've already had to glue on the vinyl for the top here. We've also had to put the vents in because it's difficult to get at those once the windscreen's in place. The problem, if you can just turn it over, guys, a little bit, is this rubber here. We need to get it out flat like that onto the bodywork, put loads of compression on it and weight on it to hold it down whilst I then get the bolts in. And that's the tricky bit, which is why it's useful to have an extra pair of hands. So if you slot it in, guys, and then I'll use this special tool of Les's.
Right, let's just gently drop these in. We'll just push the seal out from the underside to start with to get a bit of a start on it.
It was so damn heavy, you're squashing my finger, Les. It does hurt your finger, this, though, I have to say, but I can cope. OK, next job is to start putting the bolts in, and the 2 bolt holes for this side are there and there. Slightly further, about 5 mil further towards the rear of the car. Push down now.
Now.
Go. Get your big fat arse over the other way. Well, that was a bit of a struggle, and you can see that we haven't put in these 2 centre bolts yet, and there's a very good reason for that, which I'll come on to in a second. But if Les closes this door, you can see one of the really important criteria is that the quarter light and the window frame post on that side line up really, really well. So we know basically the windscreen's in the right place, but this has got to all settle, this rubber, to allow it just to settle down a little bit more to get those centre fixings in place. So we're going to leave it. It's a lovely warm day. It's going to be a warm weekend. We'll come back to it in a couple of days' time and finish that off. What we're going to move on to now, though, is fitting the hood, which is the reason that Dave's here to help us do it, because there's a really good technique for making sure you fit your hood so it looks absolutely fantastic. And it starts with having to use these templates. Now, this template is specifically for this side, and if you lay it on here to follow the curve of the car, and this line follows the line of this bead, these 2 points here mark exactly where your lifter dot posts need to be. Now, these are the original ones from the original car. Well, they're not the original posts, but the original holes, and they're in the right position. So that's not a problem. You really need these tempers, though, if you've changed body panels like these outer rear wings, like we have in a complete restoration, because we've now got to drill these for the lifter dot posts, but also for this little bracket here, which will fit on there as a hook. Done that already with 3mm holes. These are 5mm holes for the lifter dot posts. That can then come off, and I'll pop rivet this on. We'll get all the fixings on so we're ready, because then we can move on to putting on the hood frame itself. So, a little bit of pop riveting. Next, we're going to put the frame on itself. Very straightforward. It's a new frame. There are 3 bolts this side, 3 bolts that side, and then Dave and I'll put the header rail on the front, which is another 6 bolts. Right, that's the frame done. It's fitting this, the brand new mohair hood, that is going to be the tricky bit, or is the bit that every soft top owner dreads, isn't it, Dave?
Yes, I've heard that. It's not such a frightful prospect.
You reckon this technique will work?
It works because it gives you the opportunity of adjusting it if you're not happy, so it gives you a second chance.
OK, excellent. Well, I am now your assistant, so there is your hood. You tell me what you want me to do.
The back rail, so-called, goes in at the very first off. Keep going a little bit until I reach a point here where I can get it to tuck back. So we now lift the whole hood up.
Right.
Put the teardrops in and then pull it forward so it's all OK. Now we take this hook and insert it into the socket at the front.
That's the plate that I put on, yeah?
That's the plate you just so neatly fitted, and then go round and put all these sockets onto their posts, not necessarily one after the other, missing one out, so that they just find their own level. And now they're all neatly fitted and securely fitted down onto the new posts.
So that's the back.
Yes.
Then what about the front?
The front, we're going to pull that up and fix these outside pieces first. So we'll just lift the frame up a little bit. You'll find underneath here this 1-inch flap, which is designed to tell you exactly where to fit the hood on the header rail by running it along the underside like that. You then fold the flap of the remainder over the top.
How do you hold that in place?
You have a seal retainer.
Right.
It fits neatly over the top and is secured either with pop rivets or screws. Now, if you want to do it with screws, it means you can take it off and refit it as many times as you want until you're really comfortable with the fit.
And basically, that's all there is to it?
Well, when you finish doing that, we have a seal which slots in here and then feed the top half in using a screwdriver all the way down until it's neatly secured, and then trim off any excess.
You got that, Les?
Yeah, word for word.
Dave's got to go. You know that, don't you?
Well, you remember half, I'll remember the other half.
Yeah, well, no, come on, you can't sit there. You've got to come and do it. Thanks very much, Dave. You can go home now. Come on. Come on, come on, over there, take his place. Go. Leaves me and Les to work into the night to fix this hood.
Got my chalk?
Got the chalk? Yeah. Excellent. Got the chalk? We're sorted. So, what do you want to be? Noughts or crosses?
Top left, cross.
Here?
Yeah.
This could take a while, you know, because he's a very, very bad loser, aren't you, Les?
Oh, yes.
OK, because you see, you'll go probably there, and then I'd go there, and you'd by mistake go there, I'll go there, and look, I've won again!
I've done it wrong again, haven't I?
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Come on, we'll do it later. I'll teach you how to play.
Got my chalk.
Sorted! So we've got most of this channel in now, just the remaining screw to go in here, and you can see where, there's our line, the white line along there. What we've done is pulled it just on the inside of the edge of the header rail, because obviously when we pull it taut, it will pull back a little bit, but it's pretty even all the way along. Just use a scriber to locate the hole, and then screw in. The screws come as part of the kit because they're quite flat-headed because the seal's got to fit into this channel. Yeah?
Yep.
Just before we get right down, just make sure that back one's in.
Yeah, that's right. Push this up. It's under some tension now, Les.
Just let it run over the edge.
Righty, that's in the right place. I'm in. You're in. Taut as a drum.
Looking taut.
It's gone better than I thought, I have to say. couple of little creases in here, but I think some of that will settle out when it's had time to stretch a little bit. And what we'll do is leave this now for as long as possible, even a few days, and we might even mist it overnight to just dampen it a little bit to help it stretch before we finally fix the front of the hood to the top rail and put the seal on and the little blocks that space it off the windscreen. But so far, that is a pretty good job. So we'll leave that for a couple of days. On the interior, all that remains to be done is to finish off the dash, put the clocks in, the switchgear and that kind of thing, and then fit the whole of the interior upholstery that we haven't put in yet, which is basically all of this lot. It's not a huge job, but it will make a dramatic difference to the look of the car. But it's got to wait, because in the next programme we're going to be working on the engine, putting on the cooling system, the fuel system and the exhaust, and then hopefully getting it running for the first time. We are so very near to an MG is born. We'll see you next time. Ooh, look at that.